Hey everybody, we're going to do a quick little video on making an external style sheet. What that really means is that we're going to take all the CSS we wrote and give it its own file. The big benefit to do that is it really clears up our code. If you remember, one of the things I've been kind of harping on this whole time is that we have an HTML section of the document which is really laying out the sort of structure, which things are grouped with things, how things are organized. And then we can be creative with how we go about styling them, right? We talked about that pretty cool site called CSS Zen Garden. And if you go there, remember that they had the same HTML, right? And everybody sort of submitted their own CSS files to make it look, make it look really different, make it look really cool. So how they did that is they said, I'm going to change this document, this HTML document, to instead of having a style tag, I'm actually going to tell it to link to this external sheet. So let's make our sheet, and then we'll actually go and style. And then we'll copy the styles over, and we'll be ready to link it up. So first thing we want to do is go up here to New and click on that, and we'll just get a random new document. Second thing I like to do is actually go up to Language and pick CSS. This is actually one of the cool aspects of this little Notepad++ is, remember, we got a lot of bonuses when we switched it into HTML mode. And if we switch it into CSS mode, we can actually get the same benefits with the CSS. So I went back into my original document, and I'm not actually going to make any changes. I'm just going to do a little cut and paste, and I'm going to cut out all my style, and I'm going to paste it right into my new CSS document. And you can see right off the bat, hey, look, all of my div tag IDs now are nicely color-coded. Okay, I can see my attribute tags are also nicely color-coded with their properties and so on and so forth. And you can actually see that if we use some of those sub categories like H1, you can see even the font changes. So you can really tell, like, oh, this is a generic HTML tag inside of my specific named one. So it's really nice. I mean, it's just really easy to tell if you have a proper piece of CSS. Like, let's say I accidentally typed background color. Notice how it doesn't show up blue. So I can see my typos a lot faster, which is really nice. That's one really nice thing about having a style sheet. Now, once I have the style sheet like this, I'm going to click on Save, and I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this, Math Style, because I was calling it my, World of Math page. And I save it. Oh, I already have a file like this. I'll just click Yes, but that probably won't happen to you. And so now I have my own little CSS file. So now the next thing is I got to link it to World of Math. So instead of having an actual style tag, because I'm not going to need that, is I'm actually going to go to a link. And this isn't a link in terms of a hyperlink. This is actually link a file to me. So what am I going to link? I'm going to link a text./CSS file. And what's the relationship? Hey, this is a style sheet. Okay, and then we have to tell it exactly where it is, which we can use with the href, just like we'd use with a normal, link or an image or something like that. We have href, or I guess with the images we use source, but for this we're going to have our href, and I'm just going to say, hey, mathstyle.css. I'm saving them in the same directory, so I don't need to do anything special, and there we go. So, okay, we're linked up. So I make sure that my math style is saved. I make sure my World of Math is ready. Hey, let's give it a little run in Chrome and see how it goes. And wow, it doesn't look any different than where we started, which is great because that's exactly what we wanted, right? We wanted all the same style, but we wanted everything to be in a different place. Now, the thing that's kind of the most useful about this. So we talked about, hey, now two people can work on stuff, right? If you guys kind of decide what you're going to call things, right? One person can lay out that HTML, the other person can be clever about the styling, or even multiple people can, and it's all going to live here. The real power in this, though, is think about if you have a site that has a lot of pages. Okay, we've talked about the Wilson Field site, so let's take a look at that real quick. Notice that if I'm on this page, okay, it looks pretty consistent. If I go over to the donate page, notice that I have a style that doesn't have that little sidebar, right? And if I actually look at all of the other pages on this, you'll notice that every one of them is kind of a white box in a gray field with the buttons and the header and so on and so forth, except for this first page that has a bunch of, extra fun, crazy stuff on it. So what's going on here? What's going on is that I have one style sheet that styles the front page. The front page has a couple of extra HTML elements, like this donate button and a Facebook link and so on and so forth, that some of these pages don't have. So I have one style sheet that kind of keeps track of pages like this. The other style sheet keeps track of these pages. So that's really nice. If I want to add another page to the site, I don't need to copy and paste a bunch of code. Okay, I can just go in when I make my new page, bam, I just link this at the top, and anytime I make a change to math style, it changed it for every single page. So there's none of this, I don't have inconsistency, I don't have to track down, I don't have to cut and paste a bunch of stuff. It's just already there. And so it's a huge time saver. If you have, even if you have 3 pages, it's a great way to make sure you don't have to do some more work. And if you have, 1,000-page site, it sure is nice to, have it all in one place. So this is really the power of CSS. This is really what everybody was excited about when this came around. So, one of the things that I think, it takes a little more to get comfortable with. But, I think there's a lot of value in learning how to do it. So, again, what you're doing here is you're getting rid of a style tag and you're throwing in a link, and you tell it its type, what the relationship is, and then the link to the actual file, and we just made our good old-fashioned CSS right here. So I hope that shows you kind of a simple way to make a CSS file. Enjoy.